Hey folks, thanks for stopping by. Hope you're all well. There's a lot going on. Let's go through the rundown. America's still on lockdown. Well, some are still on lockdown, some aren't. It's all going to be really interesting. Protests are spreading. That's not good. Dr. Birx's scarves are trending. I think we all know who's responsible for that, huh? The daily briefings are no longer daily. Are they coming back? Please come back. Murder hornets have arrived.
Asian giant hornets, nicknamed murder hornets.
Murder? I don't even. And my weight gain is out of control. It's like 2 before pictures. I'll be discussing all that and more, because this is the now normal. Welcome to the Now Normal. I'm your host, Lamont Ferguson. Please keep in mind that the camera plus quarantine adds 65 pounds. It's day 45 of California's lockdown, day 41 for Michigan. That seems to be just the right amount of time when people are asked under these conditions to stay at home. They will lose their damn minds. Wow, white people, am I right? You're yelling at police officers? What happened to Blue Lives Matter? Do they not matter anymore? Did I miss a memo? See, kids, a memo was a notice people would send out to notify them, let people know what was going on. It came right after the town crier. Look, I get it. I truly get it. People have been locked inside amongst the luxury of all the stuff they've acquired throughout the years. And the truth is, they're tired of looking at it. They need new stuff. The stuff we've acquired, we didn't buy that to be looked at for 40 plus days in a row. This is madness. Madness? This is Corona! I got a little carried away. The truth is, people are scared. They're scared of not being able to take care of their family, put food on the table, keep a roof over their head. The whole thing is frightening. It is even more frightening the fact that the government didn't really do much to help. It's almost like you've been put on punishment by your parents without being told when it ends. So every day, you just get up and get dressed and act like you're going out. Hope they don't stop you. Where are you going? Yeah, I thought it'd been long enough for the... No? Okay, I'm going back to my room. But let's take a real look at what's going on here. I've said this for a long time. White people do not do well with being made uncomfortable. There is no time in American history where white folks have done well with assimilation. Look at what happened a while ago when white women were calling the police on black folks because they made them uncomfortable. They're barbecuing, they're selling ice water, they're sitting at a Starbucks. Look, as minorities, we feel uncomfortable every single day, and yet we never get to call the police because we feel uncomfortable. You know how many times I've seen a grown white man publicly cutting his toenails? Once is enough. And it's more than once. Minorities, listen up. We've got to make white folks comfortable. They don't do well otherwise. Look, historically, white folks landed in a land that already had people, and they went, hey, you know, whatever your customs are, they don't make us feel that comfortable. Could you just do our customs? what language you're speaking? That doesn't really make me feel comfortable. Would you mind speaking our language? Thanks, you're a dear. This is my favorite one. Let's say somebody comes from a different land, they immigrate over, they've got a different name. Like, oh, what's your name? Sanji? You mind being Sam? Because that works best for me. Would you? Yeah, that's perfect. So far, we've seen protesters comparing themselves to Rosa Parks, and that being told to stay at home was modern-day slavery. Wow. First it was cultural appropriation, and now white people are taking part in struggle appropriation. God damn it, white people. Is there nothing that you won't take? I saw where someone tried to call a person out on how slavery is quite a stretch, seeing how people are only being asked to stay at home as opposed to staying in the field. Their reply was, there were Irish slaves too. Whoa, what? There were Irish slaves? I had to look it up. Irish slaves, like in the field next to black folks singing spirituals? Wherever I be, my soul is singing down. Nope, there weren't. They were treated horribly when they immigrated, but they immigrated. They had a choice. Just saying. There were Irish indentured servants, which in the slave game, so much better. You're comparing slavery to oranges. You see how horrible that analogy is? It's exactly as bad as it is when you're saying there's Irish slaves. Indentured servants. One, there was an end in sight. The other, at times, ended up at the end of a sight. And Rosa Parks, really? So years from now, white folks are going to be telling their families about the time they had to sit in the back of the house? Look, white folks are great through every other circumstances, but being uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is like their kryptonite. And as minorities, we need to band together to help them through this. If we need a million white man march or a catchy slogan like give Karen a chance, something. Maybe we could inject them and then put some UV light in the...
Supposing we hit the body, tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just very powerful light. And
we'll take a look at it. The next topic for the show could be best described under the hashtag Fashion Savage. Dr. Deborah Birx has emerged as the true superstar of the coronavirus crisis.
Dr. Deborah Birx likes scarves. So much so, there are enough to fill an entire Instagram account, found Texas resident Victoria Strout, who created @DeborahBirx Scarves, shared it with a couple of friends, then watched its number of followers grow.
She is the muffler maven of the pandemic era. And as a man who is known for scarves, I can truly appreciate it. Let it be known that I was the driver of the Birx bandwagon from day one. Matter of fact, between all of us watching right now, only one is the owner of the domain drbirxscarves.com. Dr. Birx's rise to the public awareness came through the daily briefings, which are no longer a thing. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know if they're coming back, but President Trump has ran away because he was being publicly mocked for suggesting to inject people with disinfectants, even though that's not what he said, but he was public spitballing, which is not a thing that should be done, and I don't know if they're coming back. Did Trump get his feelings hurt? Did he run off to Ragnarok?
Trump sad. People make fun of Trump. Trump no like briefings anymore. Trump angry. Trump hate fake media.
Also in the news this week, Kim Jong-un is not dead. That's a weird way to put it, but there were many media reports earlier in the week that he was on his deathbed. Then he showed up cutting a ribbon at a fertilizer factory. No shit. Kim Jong-un is not dead. If someone asked you, hey, in the year 2020, Kim Jong-un, the coronavirus, or Larry King, which one makes it out? The answer would be all of them and not us. My favorite story of the week is a man that was arrested for trespassing on an island at Disney World.
The Orange County Sheriff's Office says they found 42-year-old Richard McGuire on Discovery Island Thursday. Deputies say McGuire didn't hear them searching for him using boats and planes because he was asleep in a building. McGuire says he did not know the island was off limits and that it looked like a tropical paradise.
So there's a 42-year-old man that was still holding on to the hope of one day being an explorer. The most extinct occupation there is. I think it's explorer, and then maybe someone that works a loom. The island is called Discovery Island, so really you can't fault the guy for this, because maybe the name is the problem. It's called Discovery Island. Maybe Disney should change the name to Already Been Discovered Island. Next story, it's about animals, because people have not been out. The animals, you've seen the news stories, the animals are now taking over. They're roaming around, they're free ranging everywhere because people aren't around. Some people think that's cool. I think it's a little disturbing. We've been on lockdown on average for about 5 weeks. That's all it took. 35 days? 35 days and the animals went, well, I guess that's it. It's a wrap. People are no more. They didn't even try to look for us. Not one of them went, hey, those people have been around for thousands of years. 35 days wiped them out, but not us. They didn't, no one looked. Not one animal came to look for us. Not one. You jerks. And my final news story for this episode of The Now Normal is probably the most 2020 thing that 2020 could give us.
We now have a new species of lethal hornets to look out for in parts of the United States. Asian giant hornets have been spotted in the Pacific Northwest, a first for the United States. Researchers are calling the bee-killing bugs murder hornets. Beekeepers in Washington state have reported piles of dead bees with their heads ripped off and linked them to the murder hornets. Yep,
you heard that right. Murder hornets have arrived in America. Murder. We stepped up. 2020 leveled up. We had killer bees in the 70s. Killer bees were coming. Killer bees are here. Killer bees. They're killers. They're not murderers. There's something different when you start dealing with the words. Killer, hey, killed. I killed. You know why? Because you could have an alibi. Could be a reason. Self-defense. I thought they were going to kill me, so I killed them first. Killer, hey, not guilty, a light sentence. But murder, that is an admission of guilt. Murder hornets, yeah, guilty. You were just waiting on sentencing based on the degree of murder. Just wait until the other animals hear about this. Wait until your next cruise is disrupted because it was attacked by a pod of murder whales. I don't know how high the wall would have had to have been to stop the murder hornets from coming. All right, that's it. That is all I've got for the crazy week in news on The Now Normal. Here's how crazy things have been. You know what else was released this week? The Pentagon released evidence that there are really UFOs. And they said, hey, look, there are UFOs. And that story didn't even make it. That's how crazy things are. We didn't even talk about UFOs. UFOs should have been talked about the entire time, but that's how crazy 2020 is, that UFOs have been moved to the back pages. People went, oh, UFOs. And are they coming to murder us? I bet they'd let us go outside. All right, until next time, I'm Lamont Ferguson, and this is The Now Normal.